Hello everyone, it is time for another Instagram Live because this is what I do on my walks to work. I do a short Instagram live stream just to broadcast my current thoughts and feelings. And because I do this almost every night, at least every night where I'm working at Walmart, people are starting to notice. And this just happens to be an interesting time because, at nighttime is a time when people, they're getting off work. They work day jobs. I work overnight jobs at Walmart. You know what I'm saying? So around at 9 p.m. is when I start walking to work. And I'm going to be working all night. I don't get off until 7 in the morning, sometimes later if I have to stay late. And so here's the important thing I want to talk about today is the meaning of the rainbow. Because as I was looking at my old art, I used to do art like from 2010 all the way until like 2018 or so. I was heavily into art. I designed, hundreds of pictures in Inkscape. I have pictures I made that I don't have the original files for anymore, but that are still on Facebook and my DeviantArt account, which has not been updated. But I'm an artist. I'm an artist of pictures with vector graphics art. I'm an author of several books. But as I was looking at my art and I was looking at the brand deck that I built for school, I realized that the progress flag has a lot of meaning to me. Because let me tell you about how when I had commented something on Lila Rose, the pro-life activist Lila Rose. I had commented on one of her posts, and then one of her other followers was saying, with that profile picture, you can be safely ignored. And I realized they said that to me because I had the progress flag as my profile picture at the time. And I'm like, well, okay, so this is one of those anti-gay pro-lifers that anybody who has the symbol of the progress flag, they hate them because to them, I'm an abomination. The symbol, the rainbow is the most divisive symbol. The rainbow is so controversial that there was an event that was at a library. It was actually for autism awareness or something like that. And it got shut down because people complained about the rainbow. The rainbow is also a symbol of autism to some people. But the rainbow is also a symbol of the gays and the LGBTQ people in general. Oh, hi, Charity. Hey, my sister Charity joined. Yeah, thanks for joining my Instagram Live. Isn't this cool that I can do these Instagram live streams? Because I'm trying to make the most use out of my time. Because it takes so long just for me to walk to work. There's all the travel to and from work besides having a 9-hour shift. And that includes breaks and everything. But I want to make the most use of my time. And I just posted on my WordPress blog. And I posted some images. I was going to write a post more talking about the meaning of the rainbow to me, but it was time for me to go to work and my alarm was going off and I'm like, I have all this inspiration. I have things to say. And how I feel is I want to just drop out of school. I want to drop out of school so I can spend more time playing chess and doing live streams and focusing on getting more sleep so I'm better prepared for my job at Walmart. That's how I feel. I want to drop out of school because I have no time to do the things I want to do. But that's not the topic of today's podcast. Today's podcast, Instagram Live, whatever you call it, is the meaning of the rainbow. And see, here's what I love about the rainbow. The rainbow itself is, the rainbow contains all the colors. However, all of those colors are contained in light. And white light, light is white and darkness is black. White light contains all of the colors. And as you know, the reason it's called a rainbow is that when it rains, the light refracts off of the water, and somehow water makes white light split into its different colors. So it's called a rainbow. Oh, hello, Marcos. A fellow board member, Marcos, just joined my live stream. That's cool. Yeah, and see, speaking of which, as a board member of the Rainbow Pro-Life Alliance, I feel like there's so much more I want to do, but I lack the time. And the rainbow is important. It's very important. As the Rainbow Pro-Life Alliance, the name is perfect. You know, it used to be called PlayGal, which was the Pro-Life Alliance of Gays and Lesbians. But the problem with it is it sounds like the plague. Second of all, you don't have to be gay or lesbian to be part of the rainbow. Truth is, we're all part of the rainbow, every single one of us, because the rainbow contains all the colors. But more specifically, a lot of, gay and trans and intersex people, that fall into the LGBTQIA, a lot of us like the progress flag symbol. And the progress flag symbol happens to be on my profile picture right now on Instagram. And I just posted the image in both a rectangle and square form on my website, ChastityWhiteRose.com. And the idea behind this, I also emailed it to Jason and Anna, because I would like this, if somebody wants to incorporate the progress flag, I designed that progress flag myself. It uses my color preference. I'm not the one who made the progress flag, but I did customize the colors based on the original colors and then choosing it what I thought looked more extreme. Basically, it's a very high saturated version of the same colors is what it's meant to be. And so it has the rainbow. It also has some of the colors represent the trans flag. And the modern version even has the intersex flag contained in the yellow triangle. So it contains everything. The progress flag is the symbol of the LGBTQIA community. And that's why I have it as my profile picture right now. And I was just thinking about it, and this isn't for just me. Anybody should use this image. If you want to show, your support for us, the LGBT people, then you might want to have this as your profile picture. You might want to share this on your social media. That's what I'm saying. If you credit me, that's great, but that's not the point. The point is, this is a symbol that unites us. And I specifically remember, I forgot where I heard this, but apparently there are some of the anti-gay people who have accused the gay people of stealing the rainbow from God. But they have it wrong. We didn't steal the rainbow from God. God gave us the rainbow. Gave it to all of us. And if you've read my book series, Chandler's Honesty, part 6 of my story is called The Promise of the Rainbow. And it recently occurred to me. It didn't really occur to me at the time I was writing it, because I was writing my conversations with Honesty the Unicorn. But the promise of the rainbow. Well, there was one other time where the rainbow was associated with the promise. And that was in the story of Noah's flood in Genesis. Which is strange. It's very strange, because I'm not sure what I think about the flood story in the book of Genesis. But you Christians out there who read the Bible, let me know your thoughts on this, actually. Because apparently, humanity was so evil that God regretted making humanity. And then, sent a flood, but then spared Noah, his three sons, their wives, and of course Noah's wife, and 2 of most of the animals and 7 of certain animals. And they all got into a big boat. The story of Noah's Ark. I mean, the story of Noah's Ark is universal. I actually did a school assignment where I wrote a big old essay about it. And the Bible isn't the only place where you find a story of a big flood. But even though it's been a long time since I've read this story, because I don't really read the Bible regularly, because I think most of it's horseshit. But I remember that God told Noah that when he looked at the bow in the sky to remember his promise that he would never again flood the earth. I thought that was strange. How strange is that? But honestly, the unicorn told me to remember the promise of the rainbow. That whenever I see a rainbow, I will know that a unicorn is not far away. And as I thought about that, the promise of the rainbow. Interesting. And although I still don't know what to think about the Noah's Ark story, I think about the rainbow as the modern symbol. And once again, the rainbow has been associated with a promise. And I think about this, the promise of the rainbow. And that's what's so strange about it, is that I really hope people read my book series, but for those of you who won't, which is most of you, it was then that I for sure realized that only God can promise on the rainbow. And honesty is God, because honesty is truth. Honesty is the horse of truth that represents truth, that I talk to an animal sanctuary. And this is something that, I understand. My mom understands it. After all, she was my proofreader. She's read my full story, and it was so strange. There's so much that I don't understand. For example, what I've realized recently is that people are lied to. You know what I'm saying? Because as people have been lied to, for example, about gay people. This is totally on topic. So people have been lied to about gay people. They've been told that God hates gay people. People have tried to say that gay people are all pedophiles that molest children. And I'm like, excuse me? That's not true. It's like there's so many lies people have told the world about gay people that aren't true. And if you're gay, you know these things aren't true of you. In fact, in the media, in television shows and stuff, gay characters were not allowed to be positive. They always had to be portrayed as the villain, or they had to be portrayed as someone sad who ends up dying in the end. Gays were never allowed to be positive people in media. There's been so much censorship and so much bias. And I think about the symbol of the rainbow, and I think about how now gay people are more accepted in society than we used to be. And now the hot topic is transgender people, of which I'm one of the transgender people. But it's very strange because the exact same move that people did with gay people, spreading misinformation about them, is the same thing they're doing about transgender people now. And here's the thing is, there's so many good gay people. There's so many good transgender people. There's so many good intersex people, asexual people. There's so many good people. And yet, when one person does something wrong who happens to be transgender, such as Rose Montoya. If you don't know about Rose Montoya, also known as Queen Rose, she flashed her boobs at the White House when she was invited to the White House for some reason. I'm not sure why Rose Montoya was invited, probably just because they're so famous. But Rose Montoya trying to go topless and show off her boobs, it did not send a positive message for transgender people. I am frankly disgusted with Rose Montoya for doing this, because As transgender people, people like me, we want to depornify ourselves. We want people to see transgender people as people rather than as a subcategory of pornography. Does anybody hear what I'm saying? Do you feel what I'm feeling? I'm so angry that people only sexualize us. They only sexualize everything, and that's what frustrates me about society. Society is so sexual, and it just bothers me that we're never allowed to be people. And when bad role models like Rose Montoya do that, they're what they're doing is that they're equating womanhood with boobs, which a lot of people do, and the whole idea of a trans woman, that it's all about their body parts, and that is so not it. You know, I mean, boobs are great and all. I know now that I have them, but that's not who you are as a person. And it's just like, really? Can we focus more on the mind or soul of a person rather than their body? You know, because what people do is they look at who's male or female based on the appearance of their body, and then they start making assumptions about them. And it's just like, it's just so wrong. Such stereotypes. Oh, we have chaotic philosopher also joined the Instagram live. Well, thanks for joining, people. I have so much on my mind, so much to say, you know what I mean? And so I want to be a good example of a transgender person, because it seems like the only voices that most people hear are the ultra mega famous people. Rose Montoya, who's famous because they're a model and, they're on social media. And then they pulled that stunt at the White House. That is so disappointing. And then Dylan Mulvaney, okay, look, I love Dylan Mulvaney. Dylan Mulvaney is funny. And Dylan Mulvaney is a comedian. Obviously, most of what she's doing is comedy. But I believe she genuinely is transgender. But that didn't mean they stopped being an actor and comedian. And look, can we just be real? Can we just be real, guys? While I'm on the topic of the rainbow and its significance and talking about the gays, can we just talk about drag? Can we talk about drag queens? Let me tell you my opinion on drag queens for what it's worth. First of all, I like queens. They're the most powerful piece in chess. And that's what I think of when I think of a queen, obviously. But drag queens, well, here's the thing. Drag queens are not the same as trans women. Trans women are people who wish to live their lives as a female, as close as possible. Trans women are people who want to be female and be presented and referred to by female pronouns. But drag queens are different. Drag queens are men who dress up as women for comedy purposes, for entertainment purposes. And honestly, I like drag queens because, well, it's funny. I like comedy, okay? And I remember there was this free episode that I watched of RuPaul's Drag Race. And if RuPaul is like a famous drag queen, and I remember when I watched that episode, well, I liked it. I liked how they all had to pick, from available items, they had to pick their clothes and come up with an outfit. It was a good episode. It was fun. But you know what? It was too sexual for me. And it's like, well, look, a lot of people like that, but there was a lot of things that were just too sexual about it for me. And there are a lot of people like me who are asexual and sex repulsed, and there just isn't enough representation for people who like drag for what it is, but would like it to not be overtly sexual. You know, and here's the problem, is there are people trying to pass, laws, banning drag queens and stuff like that. But here's the problem with that. The problem with that is that it's such a broad brushstroke, because as soon as they decide to ban drag, because then they're going to try to find a way to jail trans women, because a lot of people don't know the difference between drag queens and transgender women. They're not going to know the difference. And if people see people like me, who obviously are trying to present female, but people know I'm male, they know by my voice that I'm biologically male, they're going to accuse me of female personification, and they're going to accuse me of drag, and therefore if drag becomes illegal, so do I. And then they'll send me to jail for life. And the worst part about going to jail is that means I would be put in a men's prison because I was born male. And you know what happens to people in men's prisons, don't you? They get raped in the ass. I would be sodomized for the rest of my life if I were to go to men's prison. So if I do something illegal that people find a way to send me to prison for, or if people change laws so that what I'm already doing is considered illegal, I'll go to jail and be literally fucked in the ass. And that is not what I want. And this is a depressing thing to think about and to talk about, but it's very important, and I feel like it needed to be part of this discussion. So I do hope that people understand the significance of the rainbow, first of all, and that it unites all the people who are different, more specifically the LGBTQIA people. But I also hope people understand that they've been lied to. They think they know everything that there is to know about gay people and transgender people and intersex people, but they don't. Especially with intersex. People don't even know intersex. Like, I learned about intersex years ago as I researched Klinefelter syndrome. Man, I tell you, so much to say and no time. But you know what? One advantage of doing a live stream like this and getting my thoughts out is I can speak a lot faster than I can write. So I do hope that people, they understand the things I have said in this video. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And remember, be excellent to each other. And party on, dudes.